Welcome back to a crystal clear mind. Hello my beauties, welcome on today's Scorpio full moon, which is also a pink moon. Lovely to have you here wherever you are in the world listening to this. Thank you for joining me today to just go a little bit deeper into what the full moon energy means for us as we move forward through this lunation. So today is April the 23rd. We have the full moon in Scorpio. Now we're going to start with the fact that we entered into Taurus season on the 19th of April, so a few days ago. And we're going to continue staying here until the 20th of May. And Taurus is my sign. So I am absolutely loving the natural connection to earth and being more grounded and more rooted and quieter and still, especially after the fire that we've been feeling from Aries season that has just ended. So here in Taurus season, we will see higher levels of energy becoming more grounded. So we're going to go from the Aries, fiery, action-oriented energy and going to come back down to earth and become more still. You might find that you're even becoming more quiet, more introverted, and perhaps even more patient during this time. Now we're going to find ourselves wanting to become more practical and more determined to reach our goals, especially ones that have already been set into motion but haven't really worked on them during Aries season because it had you kind of all fired up and unable to complete your project or your desire or your goal or whatever it was. A Taurus sun provides us with inner strength to follow through with our plans. So anything that you kind of had in mind in the last month and a half, now is the time to perhaps pick that back up and start back on that again. And the ruling planet for Taurus is a very sensual, romantic Venus. So you may find that you want to spend more time taking soothing soaks in the bath. You might be wanting to explore your sensuality a little bit, dabble in the creative arts, or try new foods at this time, especially things that are kind of colourful and have distinct flavour to them. Taurus doesn't like change. I can definitely confirm this. Taurus as a whole, we're not fans of massive change. It takes us time to adapt to things. We will eventually adapt as is needed, but it can take a while for us to come around to the concept of change. So if you find that there is change going on in your life, you may find from the Taurian energy that you're kind of getting this butting up against it. You don't really feel like you want to step out of that comfort zone. You're not quite ready for that change to happen, but you will notice that given time, quiet contemplation, you will come around to that idea. And if we can take anything away from Taurian energy, it is to try and not be so rigid in our thoughts and try not to resist change. As a Taurus, it is something that I constantly battle with all my life, is trying to be more adaptive, trying to accept and go with the flow. As I get older, I'm definitely more at ease with that flowing vibe, but I still find that there are certain things that I tend to resist. So if we can learn anything from me and from my sun sign's energy, is try not to be too rigid, try not to resist change that is inevitable. So we've got this lovely Taurus season going on, this kind of stillness, this quiet calm, this grounding, this rooting, earthing energy. And then we move over to Scorpio, where the full moon is in today. Now, Scorpio is the 8th zodiac sign, and it's known for intense and deep emotions. Scorpio is a member of the water sign group, so they're mysterious and passionate and fearless and loyal and possessive as well. They're a fixed sign, which means that their role is to maintain and uphold and defend positions and responsibilities, goals, desires in an everyday situation. The fixed signs are the least welcoming of change. Their role in the zodiac is to preserve tradition. So it might be worth mentioning here that we've now entered this Taurus season. Taurus is also a fixed sign, as you can tell by the wanting to sort of stay as they are and the least welcoming of change. So you've got Taurus and Scorpio both being fixed signs. So we've got the sun sign and the current moon sign. Today's also a pink moon, and it's so named for the time of year where the first spring blossoms begin to appear. This full moon marks the beginning of spring, so it's full of new beginning blessings. This full moon is also the first one that we've had outside of the chaos of eclipse season. So this will play a lot into the energy that's unfolding during this lunation. Now that we've passed through the eye of the storm and made our big decisions and set our big intentions around our boundaries and our habits, our relationships and our self-expression, this full moon in Scorpio is going to stir up an emotional purging that will help reflect this new way of living. Now, emotions tend to run high through a full moon anyway, so you might start to notice with the full moon and the Scorpio energy that there is a greater awareness or clarity around certain feelings and situations that are causing you confusion or stress. This is a really good time for illuminating areas in our lives that need attention or perhaps resolution, and revealing information that can help us to make much more aligned decisions for ourselves. And if you sort of bathe yourself in the mesmerizing light of this full moon, we will be setting out on a journey deep, deep within ourselves, much like little adventurers exploring uncharted territories of the soul. And with Scorpio's mystical energy as our guide through this adventure, we are going to courageously confront our inner shadows. We're going to face our deepest fears. We're going to face our deepest desires with an unwavering determination. So among the endings that we might encounter along the way, we discover that there is a promise of fresh starts as we let go of the past to welcome the blessing of renewal. Kind of like the phoenix rising from the ashes, we will emerge from this profound journey, revitalized and ready to embrace our spiritual rebirth. Now, this is going to be an extra sensitive, transformative, maybe even a difficult full moon for some. Scorpio energy is very intense and it drudges up emotions that might have been suppressed. And then we've got Pluto, who is Scorpio's ruler, is getting ready to station retrograde on May the 2nd, so not too far away from now. So we're entering this time of rebirth, forcing awareness and expansion. And through this time and through these emotions and this deep inner work, I want you to remember that true transformation comes from listening to your gut, listening to that intuition, paying close attention to what feels off and then letting go of that. And then with the sun in Taurus, which is in opposition of the Scorpio moon, we're going to feel the tug between passion, that's Scorpio, and practicality, that's Taurus. What we want may differ from what we need, but that doesn't have to stop us from moving forward. Now, during this time, we also have this lunation is going to square Pluto in Aquarius, making it an event that will push us to think differently. It will push us to break free from the past. We'll be able to let go of old ways of being and thinking and loving in order to embrace a radical perspective that aligns with our current values. And then we have asteroids Juno in Virgo and Vesta in Cancer also in the mix, and there is an added need for protection here. These asteroids may bring out negative emotions in us, such as jealousy or aggravation towards those that we think are perhaps like trying to take credit for our work or our ideas. And this can lead to sort of resentment and imposter syndrome, where we kind of start to doubt our abilities and we start to feel like frauds ourselves. So remember that this is just a passing phase. We should not let these negative sentiments linger within us. Instead, we kind of need to keep reminding ourselves of our strengths, our abilities, our achievements through positive self-talk and positive affirmations. And then we have Jupiter and Uranus will share a conjunction in Taurus on the run up to the full moon. So we'll already be feeling that. Jupiter aims to expand and Uranus seeks change. So we can expect a new vision to consume our hearts and our minds and spirits at this time. However, since this planetary connection is in Taurus, it is important that we take baby steps towards amplifying our visions and our hopes and aspirations. And lest we forget, Mercury is still in retrograde in Aries, so it's essential that we don't jump into a new way of being until that ends on the 25th of April. 2 days and counting, not long to go. It's vital that we take time to understand what we want from the future during this inspiring time of new beginnings, so that we can move forward knowing what it is we're trying to do. And because Scorpio is associated with the themes of emotional intensity, intimacy, and self-empowerment, you need to utilize this energy to nurture yourself, seize that amazing inner power of yours, deepen connections with your loved ones. It is truly a time to shed old skin and emerge as a much more empowered and authentic version of yourself. It's all there within you. You need to just bring it out by doing this deep inner work. During this lunation, you need to take time for yourself, practicing yoga or meditation, and bonus points if you can do either of those whilst you're outside in nature. Spend time with your loved ones, gather around a bonfire, spend time creating a safe and energetically cleansing space in your bath. Connect using bath or Epsom or Himalayan salts in your bath. Introduce aromatherapy into your bath time. Perhaps use it as a time to meditate, or read a book that inspires you or helps you to grow. Connecting to the water element of Scorpio in any manner that you can would be highly beneficial, and then connecting to anything to do with earth, which is the Taurian side. Any connection to earth, from barefoot grounding, meditating, spending time in nature, that sort of thing. These two things combined will bring you into a beautiful balance. And as we spoke about earlier, self-talk, positive self-talk and positive affirmations are kind of necessary through these turbulent but transformative energies. So I would like to give you a few affirmations to work with during this lunation. And I would like you to keep them, write them down, repeat after me, however you see fit, and make sure that you say them to yourself and that you truly feel it from your heart center. I embrace change with love and trust. I am surrounded by healing energy. I am becoming the best version of myself. My energy is a magnet for positive experience. My inner strength is a source of power. And as always, if you work with crystals during this phase, then I would suggest that you connect with moonstone. Great for any new or full moon, as it carries the power itself. It carries the moon's energy and it facilitates emotional balance. And we can use it to tap into its nurturing and its positive, abundant energy. I also recommend working with green jade on this Scorpio full moon. It attracts and it manifests good fortune and good luck, and it promotes a flow of positive energy and repels negative energy. So it's a really great one to work with when you're dealing with that deep inner work. You can also use orange selenite, and this can be used to enhance intuition and psychic abilities. It promotes a profound connection with your inner self and is wonderful for clearing energy blockages. So through this deep inner work, this delve into ourselves, this is probably a really great one to keep on yourself. Something that's worth noting here though, selenite cannot go outside into the moonlight. It doesn't deal with water very well, so if you have orange selenite, put it on your windowsill and it will bathe in the moonlight and get cleansed and recharged that way. And lastly, I would recommend amethyst. It's a highly beneficial crystal to work with during the full moon. It's known for its calming and intuitive qualities, and it helps us to connect with our inner wisdom. It enhances our spiritual journey, and it helps us decipher the moon messages that we may receive. And then lastly, I want to leave you with some journal prompts to work through. Journaling really connects to that grounding Taurian energy, and journaling is probably very beneficial during this Scorpio intensity. Try and get those thoughts out, get those feelings onto paper. It helps you to process what you are thinking and what you're feeling inside, and perhaps even things that you're not able to say. And if you kind of just flow with it long enough, you might find that it actually reveals things to you that you didn't even realize that you felt. So some journal prompts to leave you with today. I'd like you to work through the question of where in your life is your gut telling you to release or let go of something that has now run its course? Where is fear or doubt showing up for you right now? Where are you holding on? And how can you transform past experiences, even the traumatic ones, so that the wisdom in those lessons can empower you going forward? Well, that's all I have for today. I hope that the information is useful to you all. I hope that it gets you through this lunation in the most positive and transformative sense. I hope that you have a wonderful full moon. Do not forget to get your crystals charging. Always check to make sure that they can all be outside and they can get rained on, especially if you live in the UK where rain is inevitable. Always check that they're water safe. If not, pop them on your windowsill, let them bathe in the moonlight, or place them near selenite and they will self-charge. Until next time, take care.